A wealthy businessman and his female assistant went to New York for a business trip. He used his Bentley as collateral and borrowed $1,000 from a bank. After the paperwork was done, a bank employee parked the Bentley in the underground garage. 2 weeks later, the businessman and his assistant came back to repay the loan, with $40 in interest. The bank employee saw that the man had millions of dollars in his account and asked, "Why would you even need to take out a loan?" The businessman said, "Where in Manhattan can you find 2 weeks of parking for only $40? After that, the businessman took his assistant shopping. The assistant kept saying she wanted jewelry and designer bags. The businessman said, "Those things are boring. How about I put $5,000 down and buy you a bagel shop instead?" His assistant's face immediately changed. She said, "Do I look like someone who runs a breakfast shop?" The businessman quickly comforted her and said, "If a breakfast shop is done right, buying a car and a house won't be a problem." Then he took her into a quiet little bagel shop with barely any customers. He asked the owner, "Are you looking to transfer this shop?" The owner said, "The takeover price is $40,000. Without thinking twice, the businessman took out $5,000 and said, "This is the deposit, but I have one condition. Let me test run the shop for 1 month. If business is good, I'll pay you the $40,000 after 1 month. If business is bad, you can keep the $5,000. The owner thought, "My shop barely has customers anyway. This $5,000 is basically free money. Only a fool would say no," so he agreed. The businessman told his assistant, "From now on, this shop is yours. Just do exactly what I tell you, and I'll help you buy a car and a house." The assistant asked, "So what exactly do we do?" The businessman said, "First, hang a big banner above the front door that says, 'Free bagels for a year. Win a brand name e-bike. 1 free bagel every morning. Not free for 1 day, not free for 1 month, but free for a whole year. Customers can come in every day and get 1 free bagel. If they keep coming all year and collect enough check-ins by the end of the year, they can get a brand name e-bike worth $600. People from the nearby apartment buildings would think this was unbelievable, so they would come in and ask, "How do I get free bagels?" You tell them, "Just pay $29.99 and become a member of the bagel shop, and you can get free bagels for a year." Customers would think, "That's way too good of a deal. 1 bagel is $3. That's $90 a month, and more than $1,000 a year." The assistant said, "For the customer, that sounds like a huge win, but for me, wouldn't that be a huge loss?" Actually, the assistant would not lose money. She would make even more. Let's look at how the businessman set it up. First, by using the free bagel strategy, he quickly attracted more than 3,000 members. Each member paid $29.99, so 3,000 members brought in about $90,000. That $90,000 was almost pure upfront cash, enough to cover a year of rent and utilities for the shop. But the free bagel window was only from 6 in the morning to 9 in the morning. When customers came in for a bagel, almost nobody would take just one plain bagel and leave. Most people would buy a coffee, a second bagel, cream cheese, eggs, bacon, or something else, so every customer would spend at least $5 extra at the shop each time they came in. If we calculated at just $5 per visit, and each member comes in 100 times a year, that is $500 in extra sales from one member. Because the shop has high volume, the cost of one bagel can be brought down to about $1. A low-cost e-bike that retails for $600 can be bought in bulk for about $350, and not every member will actually come enough times to qualify for the e-bike. So after the membership fee, the add-on sales, and the repeat visits, one active customer can still bring in solid profit. With more than 3,000 members, even if each member only comes in about 100 times a year, the shop has a chance to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. 3 months later, the assistant made a fortune. She asked the businessman, "How are you this good?" The businessman said, "Stupid people in debt keep robbing Peter to pay Paul. Smart people in debt focus on just 3 things. If you're buried in debt right now, if you feel like you can't climb out, if you have no money, no resources, no clue how to make money, if you're drifting through your days not knowing what industry to choose, not knowing how you're ever going to pay people back, feeling lost, helpless, and crushed by pressure every single day, and if part of you has even started thinking about just ending it all, then let me ask you this. How do you make 10 million in 1 year, wipe out all your debt, and become wealthy? I'm going to tell you one trick. You don't need to live like a monk. You don't need to become some investing genius. Whether you live paycheck to paycheck, or you're drowning in credit card debt, you still have a shot at making 7 figures by the end of the year. Why is it that when a poor person owes a few $100,000, they feel like their life is over, but when a rich person owes tens of millions, they don't even treat it like a real problem? What a poor person lacks most isn't money. It's this truth that rich people will never tell you. Put money and a bone in front of a dog, and the dog will choose the bone, because it has no idea that money can buy far more bones. That idea is unbelievably powerful. I seriously recommend that you stay up late if you have to, but finish this book, Make More Money. This book matters, because it's the kind of book that could help you pay off all your debt. You should read it. This book lays out hundreds of ways to make money and helps you understand the underlying logic behind it. You'll realize that making money can feel as natural as breathing. By the time you finish this book, you'll have learned at least hundreds of ways to make money. It'll honestly send a chill down your spine, because you'll realize there are so many ways to make money that ordinary people would never think of in a lifetime. You'll realize you've already missed countless chances to get rich. If you want to seize an opportunity and change your life, then this is one book you cannot afford to leave out of your comeback story. This is one of the most effective books on making money and building wealth that I've ever seen. When you finish this book, one huge realization will hit you. Making money and getting rich really does have methods behind it that can be learned and repeated. It can raise your financial awareness, open your eyes, and grow your wallet. If you follow the steps in this book, you really might end up making a lot of money, far more easily than you thought. So whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s, if you want to make money, you need to get this book and seriously study the methods inside it. I genuinely hope it helps you become wealthy.